Good morning, everybody. Orange J here with another Sword of Convallaria video, and I hope you enjoyed the clickbaity thumbnail here because no, I do not think Sword of Convallaria is anywhere close to end of service. However, I do think we've entered the phase of this game where that initial influx of players, and especially that initial influx of content creators looking to, I'm not going to use the word take advantage of, but looking to make money off of a new gacha game with a large player base equaling a lot of views and a lot of website traffic, all that is kind of tapering off. What I mean is when a gacha game comes out, there's obviously a lot of eyes on it. A lot of people want to know about it. A lot of people want to watch guides, visit websites, look at tier lists, all of that stuff. So there's a lot of money to be made as a creator when a game launches. Sword of Convallaria is officially out of that phase. However, it's nowhere near end of service. And I'm highlighting this today because a website that I use all the time, in fact, you can look here, you can see in this scene my links in my Google Chrome right here, and you see this link right here, Sword of Convallaria. This was to a website, LootenWuss, and it's right by my Billy link and my content creator kit that I don't actually have access to anymore, but whatever. So I got to delete two of these things. Still, this website no longer covers Sword of Convallaria, and I noticed that today because there's a Reddit thread posted 3 days ago that I just saw called LootenWuss no longer has SoC. And in fact, if I click that link, you go to this page right here, 404 not found, and the content creator for this game has moved on. And in fact, when he moved on, I haven't seen the video announcing it, but I guess it was a bit of a rant like, hey, you can't pull the character, there's not easy access to characters in this game. Maybe it wasn't like free to play friendly for them enough anymore. But what I really suspect was they just weren't making the kind of money they were making off this game when it launched. There's a lot of eyes on a new game, like I said, so your YouTube videos are popping off. You see much higher view counts in the early stages of a gacha game, right? And that should be super obvious. So what we're going to do in this video is I'm going to show you some other websites that were like linked in there. We're going to just kind of talk about this current state of the game, and there are some really good websites. If you used LootenWuss before and you're looking to replace that with some other sites, I'll have some links in the comment section. And I just want to okay, just read this. Well, roll with me for a second. Let's go back to this red thread. I'm just going to go all the way to the bottom. Whoop. Look at this. This is the kind of stuff you're going to see a lot as people start to move away from gacha games. Watch this. Most CCs have quit the game. Literally, I'm here to tell you, happens with every single game. And most players too, hashtag end of service. I don't know why when people are quitting a game, are starting to not enjoy it anymore, they have to go online and shout about end of service. Y'all listen, let's have a chat. I'm gonna do this like Jon Stewart looking at camera 2 style. It's okay to stop playing a game just because you just don't want to play it anymore. That's actually okay. And you don't have to try and ruin it for everybody else by talking about end of service. You can just walk off into the sunset. It's fine. And people get on the thread and they kind of point that out to them. Like, it is not remotely true that this game is near end of service. There is still a very active player base for this game. And compared to other games that I've played that have been out for like years, my videos are getting really good views. Like, I'm getting 5 to 10 to 12,000 views a video for Sword of Convallaria. I can tell you that means there's a very healthy, active community for this game. My War of the Visions videos, for example, at the end of me playing that game, and that game's still not EOS, were like 2 to 5,000. So still plenty of people playing this game. Will it last forever? No. No gacha game lasts forever, but it's not anywhere near end of service right now. Okay, so next, let's look at some websites you can use to replace LootenWuss if it's a website you used to use, and we're going to start with this one. This is swordofconvallaria.co. I'm on the tier list right here. I have this link opened twice for some reason. This one I zoomed in. Let's use this one. Lots of annoying ads on this page for sure, as you see them flopping around behind my camera and off to the right, and that sucks. But I do like the tier list on here. One thing about LootenWuss is it had a tier list. You could sort by the versions of the game. You can't do that on this one, but it does give you a little bit of a peek into the future, right? Like underneath the Sherwin-Williams Williams ad, you see Tear, you see Homa, you see August, who just came out today, a lot of other, Agatha, a lot of characters we don't have in global yet, along with our global characters. Luvita, I mean, in terms of sprites, like I love Luvita's sprite right there. That's looking pretty good. So this is a very useful website here. It lacks in some other ways. Like there's some things on this list, like if you go to the guides, for example, not a lot here, really. There's like a gear engraving guide, character banner schedule. So the tier list here is what I like. The tarot list, but you can just go look at that in game. Anyway, the tier list, this was the thing I liked about this site. Let's move on. Now, this one right here, Voyage Memento. This is another site that has good info on all the characters in the game. This was linked in that Reddit thread that we were just looking at. You can come look at all the characters. You've got different guides right here. Weaponry Trial 1 has a really good guide. And if you're looking for guides, I like this site a lot. So let's say you're trying to clear some of the weaponry trial stuff, which I'm getting kind of caught up in my game right now. I need to clear the very last ones. It tells you the, attacks the boss does in order. Well, I don't know why that word was so hard to say. It gives you useful tips on clearing it. Very, very cool website right here for guides. I love it a lot. And it has details about all the characters. Like say you want to look at Abyss, or August, who just came out. Okay, skills, you can look right here. It gives you recommendations on which skills to take, recommendation on weapons, trinkets, tarot whispers, engravings, all of it. So there you go. I really like Voyage Memento. This is probably the site I will use with the tier list over here at swordofconvallaria.co to kind of replace my Loot and Waifus link and be something I can reference. Because again, and I want to mention this, like, when it comes to content creators, like this video kind of has 2 points. One, share these links that I have, and I got a few more to share, and give you guys the perspective of a content creator when it comes to covering a game like Sword of Convallaria. It's not a main game, and I don't know how to explain this other than some gacha games have either like really thriving PvP communities where there's like constant needs to be talking about meta shifts and things like that so people can improve their rank. That's like what War of the Visions was, and I love that. I loved it because I could talk about this character versus this character. It was 3v3s. It was all auto battle for the most part, and so you could really dive into that. And it was a like weekly patch cycle with a weekly release. People complain about stuff releasing in Sword of Convallaria too quick. That's a joke. War of the Visions releases something new every week, and that game's in like year 3. Is that too fast? Probably, but you just don't pull all the time, and you kind of figure that out if you're going to stick with the game forever. As a content creator, I loved it because every week I had a news video I could do and a patch review video I could do. With Sword of Convallaria, they like patch in the middle of my school day, and there's a new character every like not week. It's too spaced out. It's not a great game to cover as your main game. And so right now I cover it as a side game. I just don't have a main game on my channel right now. But here we are, maybe Pokemon trading card game, Pocket, whatever will be my new main. It doesn't matter. Anyway, let's go back to a couple of these links. Another one right here, this is soc.clouddrop.wiki. This one is information on all the characters again. Like before, if you look at like these other links, like the bosses link under Voyage, just not a lot here, but people have mentioned, especially in that Reddit thread, that they like the character info. So I'll click on my boy Tidon right here. If we click on him, it's very fancy, right? Again, it's like, it looks like a well-made site. It goes over all the skills. You can kind of click on them. It changed over here. Like the back end of this site feels kind of good to me. I like this a lot. And plus, when you click on a skill like Thick Shield, you can see only Tidon has that. Counterattack, you can see a lot of people have that. That's actually kind of a useful thing. Impregnable Shield, guess what? He's the only one in the game who has that. Whereas Intimidate, hey, Outlaw Guard also has that if you like really need it for a build or something. So I do like that they go into detailed skills, things like that, show the stats just straight on the screen. This is a useful site for the character info, not so much for any of that like PvE guide stuff. Still, I'll link that one. And then Billy, this is one I've had linked since the beginning. The biggest problem with Billy is what you're seeing right now is a translated version, and any website that you have to translate to see, it's just rough. Like if I click Luvita, who's a character I'm actually, pretty excited for whenever she comes here, it's it's an okay site. Like there's a lot of info on here, but it's not as good as the other sites in my opinion. Like this pop-up that I clicked on, everything's in Chinese. I don't know. I don't love having to translate it. I don't consider it as reliable for that reason. Not because the info's unreliable, but because my translator's probably not as reliable, and my ability to like read in between the lines on translated content not as good. So LootenWuss gone. That website is covering these games now, and honestly, I wish the creator of that all the luck in the world. It is very hard to be a content creator, so even though you're not covering Sword of Convallaria anymore, good luck, Sephi, on whatever you're doing next, but allow me to leave you guys some links for these other sites to use them, and I hope that was an interesting little view into the mindset and life of a content creator when it comes to, you know, deciding what games to cover, because at the end of the day, this is a business for all of us. We're probably not doing it as our main job, like very few of us are. It's a passion project for us, but it's a passion project much in the way that like coaching, school sports is. You take it very seriously. You're making money, but you're doing it because you love the kids and you love the sport. Content creation is a lot like that. I take it very seriously. I'm doing it for money, but I'm really only covering games that I like. And if I don't like a game anymore, I'll just drop it. Done it all the time. It just happens. It doesn't mean a game's going end of service. For some people, it just means the game is no longer like financially viable for them. And that's going to happen with all gacha games after they've been out for a few months. Okay, thank you all for watching. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.